Right guys, it's going to be a video showing a solo on the Chasm of Screams, which is a mission or a strike that's going to be sunset when Beyond Light comes out. So the purpose of this video is this. We done a last word one prior and people were getting themselves confused, okay? Wondering why maybe I don't. The only reason why I'm doing it is because this mission's getting sunset, okay? I've done a solo on this back in the day. I already have Thorn. This isn't just me getting Thorn right now. I've done all the requests just to make a video on it, which it's a long quest as well, going into PvP, getting void hand cannon kills, etc, etc. But because it's such a good mission, a good strike, right, or nightfall, it's almost a nightfall really, I wanted to get a video up on it before it gets removed from the game. That's the only purpose of it. There's no other purpose. Not only that, it's a good one. It's interesting. It's better than the last word one. The last word one's fun, right, but there's no difficulty to it. With this one, there's a bit more difficulty to it, but it's not as hard as what it was when it first came out. I must stress that. I know it's way easier now. I know that we've got things that we didn't have now. For example, Hive Armaments, you know, that's more widely available than maybe it was back then. So we're doing it with weapons as follows. We're doing it with Long Shadow, a kinetic legendary sniper rifle, a void bow, the Calamity, and the exotic linear fusion rifle Queenbreaker. We're using it not because it's super powerful, although it has utility, but we're using it just to show that utility off. As there's going to be a weapon that people keep going about that's going to get sunset, which is Wendigo, which a lot of people use in Grandmaster Nightfalls and things, because you can survive, you can blind enemies. But there's other weapons out there that can do it. Other energy grenade launchers can do it. Things like Truth Deller or whatever you have can do it like that. But also, so can Queenbreaker's bow. So it doesn't matter what shield you do it on. It doesn't matter regardless whether the enemy's shielded or not. And it doesn't matter whether it's arc, void or solar. Even though Queenbreaker's does arc, doesn't matter. This weapon will blind every enemy in the game apart from bosses. Okay? It'll blind mages, it'll blind miners. You know, most of the ads that you come up against on hit, one shot, and that's really good, especially with the way how the game is now. Okay? It's more about survivability than what the game maybe used to be. Okay? It's all about survivability now. So that's why I'm doing it, just to showcase this weapon off, and that it's actually decent in PvE, which I wasn't aware that it blinded enemies, not until like recently, like within the last few weeks. So I thought this would be a good time to use it on something like this. So it's like I said, this mission is just like Southern Song basically, but it's got modifiers, it's got harsh elements, it's called that, which is rainbow burn basically from day one. So incoming void, arc and solar is greatly increased. Incoming, it's only damage taken, you don't get any benefit from it. Then we've got Blackout on, which makes thralls two-shot me, even though I'm like 1080 light or whatever I am, right? And this mission's 750, okay? A thrall can still two-shot me because of Blackout. Then we've got Iron on, which enemies do not stagger and they have more health. That one not so much, doesn't affect things. It's mainly the harsh elements and Blackout. If you're going to plan to solo this and you haven't done this, definitely have a go at trying to solo it rather than get a team. Especially if you've got raid mods. Even if you've never soloed something, this is a good time to start. Especially if you've got raid mods. If you haven't got raid mods and you've never soloed something, maybe not. It's maybe not the best place to start. Okay? But if you have the raid mods, a lot of Hive, which that's the most widely available sort of mod because you can get it from Menagerie. So it's a good time to start. We are on Gunslinger bottom tree with Cecil Nighthawk. We're going to use our first one here for the ogre. As soon as we get that, we're going to try and blind some of the knights. Plus we can take their shield down. Match game is not on, so that's real good. As for the raid mods that we had on, the Hive mods, we had Hive Barrier. So we take you know, that increased resistance against Hive enemies. Then we got Hive Repurposing on, so for every shield break we get a grenade back, sorry. And then Hive Armaments gives us our ammo back. We had a couple of linear fusion rifle perks on, reserves. We had Recuperation on for health regen, Concussive Dampener, things like that. But other than that, mainly the raid mods were helping me out the most. We do end up switching our subclass later on as well. But the setup I'm doing right now is pretty much one of the best ways of doing it. On a hunter at least. So the major changes with this mission itself is because of knights. So you get additional knights. In total, you approach 2 yellow bar knights at certain instances, like so. Like so, I've got one here, we'll get another one later on. And then we get 2 yellow bar knights at the boss fight itself. We also got another wizard here. We don't usually have 2 wizards there. Oh, we've got another one. We're going to use our second golden gun to one-shot, which does one-shot the knight, even if that's full health. And then right now what we want to do is take out all adds. And we're not picking up crystal before then, you know. Got to double check there's no acolytes down. Then, to spawn in the adds, we'll pick up the orb, then forget about it. Then we'll get a blind on the Shrieker. So this weapon's really good for that. And then we can fight the knight and stuff, an acolyte down below, safely. Then we'll clean up if there's any more adds. And then we're good for that. So there's no need, as you can see, to be playing Nightstalker at the start. Because equipment locked isn't on, we can swap things. If equipment lock was on, it would have to be a full Nightstalker run, really. Because you want Nightstalker at the boss, at the final dunk and stuff like that. But equipment lock's not on, so we don't have to worry about it. I wouldn't advise playing like Arcstrider or something because of Blackout being on. It's just not worth it. A knight will come up to you and just get you half health, even in your super. So you're limited with that. It's either Tether or Nighthawk on Hunter, really. Okay, so with this part, pretty simple. What would usually be a champion is just actually a knight here. Fine, we can deal with it. Get a nade kill left for increased ammo. We've got 21, which that's a lot compared to Sleeper Simulant, right? Which only holds 9 base and then 11 with reserves. That's a lot. So it's real good on ammo as well. So with this part, we're going to skip the first ogre all adds. In order to skip like that, we don't shoot at the adds at all. We just run past them. They sometimes notice you, but with high barrier, you can tank the damage to get past. Then we're going to jump up to the roof. These are old year 1 strats. Then we're going to get the ogre's attention and then showcase Queenbreaker's damage. Then we're going to wait on the second ogre. We'll try to get his attention first because that ogre, if you miss your crit, which you don't really want to, and then you're going to have to use more ammo. Because what the ogre sometimes does, he'll do a taunt or he'll run down the stairs. Yeah, so rather than pre-pop a Goldie, because if you pop a Goldie and he's run downstairs, you're not going to get a crit. It's going to be hard because his head is facing the opposite way of where you're facing. So that's why I do it like that. And then we can just run past the adds. We're also going right to the back of the map because these 2 Arc Shielding Knights will push us. They won't push so far in this room though. That's why I'm at the back. And Blackout is on, so they're dangerous with them being melee knights. This is where we swap, where we don't need the golden gun. It's a good time to swap now. We're going to go to top 3 Nightstalker with 6 Coyote double dodge. We're still rocking 100% mobility. That's why I had 100% mobility while I was playing Gunslinger, which isn't ideal because it doesn't synergize with what you're doing there. But I just had all that stuff pre-ready so that when I do go on a Nightstalker, I've got the 100% mobility for the 9-second dodges. So that's why that was like that. If I had to play a golden gun the whole time, I would have spec'd out better. Yeah. But it's not essential. We're just there. We're just using it for its super. That's it. And then again, we still wouldn't have needed it. We could have done the full run with Nightstalker. I just wanted to do it with Nighthawk and, you know, and switch and stuff. So we've skipped all the ads with 6 Coyote, you know. And this is our second night as well. We have 2 Void Shielded Wizards. And a bunch of ads. We don't need to take all the ads, but especially the ones near the relic. But we need to take down the wizards to get the relic to open up. As you saw, I blinded that wizard, really good. It's just utility is really good, and it does half decent damage. So if linears get a buff, which they are due one, then this thing could become something that people are going to maybe start using quite a lot. Just all depends what they buff in November. But right now we're just taking out all the curse stuff like that. We could wipe to that if they get too close and explode. I don't use Long Shadow much just because I'm trying to show off Queenbreaker's bow as much as possible, really. But there's no use for having a shotgun, so went sniper instead. And there'll be another arc shielded knight. Again, it just simplifies it, just blind them like that. We're juggling the relic. Usually I wouldn't do this if I've got champions to deal with in the nightfall. I wouldn't be juggling this relic. I just leave the relic and go and pick it back up. But you do need the relic and to be carrying with it to have the ads spawn in this room though. We'll have 3 ogres, which they can melt us quick. So we're going to take those out first. Then we're getting onto the double dunk and baiting out this last ogre. And at that point we just cleared out all the acolytes. I could have tethered the shriekers, that will close them up. I could also do the Queenbreaker's bow strat, or just go in Viz and get the dunk. Okay, so there's multiple ways of me doing this. I could have stayed on Nighthawk Gunslinger and then got the dunk even with that, if I really wanted to. But the most important thing is you come to this pillar first, clear out any acolytes, and then we're just waiting. We're going to go in Viz. We could have got a dunk there, but I wanted to show it off. I want to show the Queenbreakers. So blind them both like that, get the dunk, and then that just didn't show us. If you do dunk it and kill the shriekers, I don't think extinguish is on. I don't believe so, so you'll still get checkpoint. As far as I'm aware, I've literally just unlocked this mission on the Hunter today, so we've now switched back to Gunslinger. Obviously we're putting on Ancestral Nighthawk. I'm taking my time with the wizards to proc a perk called Practice Makes Perfect, which stacks up to 5 times, and you lose it after roughly 2 seconds. But if you have a tanky enemy, you can farm them for super with this class, which we will be doing. But what we're going to do with this part, it's a little risky, but if you know what you're doing, you're alright. I just jump over and right through. Just try and stay as far as possible away from the cursed. Not only that, if you do this, you can actually, any ammo that drops will drop in this room for you. So any heavy bricks, then you're going to get that rather than dropping in the previous room. Now just trying to farm up. Practice Makes Perfect. We're halfway to a super. There's obviously the one-hit target as well, which we're going to actually kill and farm super off. Just because for the first phase of damage, ideally you want a super. Ideally I wanted a super and plenty of heavy, which my heavy's not so bad, it's alright. So we took down the shield first, because you can't crit behind a shield. Not these shields anyways. So, just going to keep getting practice makes perfect. I'm going to use a bit of sniper ammo. Sniper ammo is not essential, plus there's loads of ammo on the floor. And we got that. We're 95% now, so that's good. We'll wait for our super. As Celestial Nighthawk does a lot of damage to the boss, basically. That's why we've got it on. As Tether isn't required until the latter end of the fight. So where I'm standing right now is handy because the Thrall cannot hit me from here. The boss can, but we're going to do a short burst of damage to the boss anyways that he'll close up before he could kill me. Obviously I'm going to make sure I'm fully reloaded as I'll be using Queenbreakers for damage. And damage will be as follows. So I want to get the crit to the at the side of the boss, because the boss does that eye rotation every time, so we try and get a crit while we can. On the second phase of damage, we've done 2 extra Queenbreaker shots, then a golden gun. But don't do more than 2. If you do more than 2, you'll close the boss up, and you can't do your Nighthawk shot. Doing it like this just makes it mean that you do more damage overall for the whole stage of the fight. This is a good place to stand to clear enemies. Of course, we've got a bow on. We're going to clear everything. One shots all lads, even one shots orange bars as well. Like I say, this mission's 750, so I'll just get any acolytes we can see from back here. We're low on heavy. As you can see, Blackout on gets us weak. So be aware of the Thrall. They hide more than you'd think, and once you start to push up, they'll then push you. It's very important as well that we take out all acolyte before we clear both knights. You can take one knight out. Once one knight's killed, you want to clear Thrall. So obviously they're the most threat, the biggest danger. And then clear out all the acolytes. Reason being is because they'll throw the solar nades at you at a time when you maybe don't want it. We have no need for a super yet, as we've done most of our damage. So we have got a Oppressive Darkness on our cape. I switched that at some point, some point earlier. I done that. So we're going to blind the knight back here. Then this next phase of damage, like I said, the eye rotation does the same thing every time. So we try and get as many crits as possible. Then we'll do an oppressive nade and then just 2 shots. Very important that if you, I could have killed the boss of course from here, but if I do, it doesn't count. You need to clear the knights. As far as I'm aware, you need to clear the yellow bar knights that spawn in. So there's going to be 2 more yellow bar ultras that spawn on the very last phase of the boss. So of course we need to do that. Okay, so how this game works, a lot of instances by triggers, and the trigger right now is the Orgas. If we were to clear all 3 Orgas right now, then the boss would open up at a time we don't want. Not only that, there'll be yellow bars spawning in, a wizard eventually, all this stuff, and Thrall chasing. So rather than rushing it, we have to take out all acolytes, which from back here you're safe. If a bunch of Thrall do push, we can jump up top. I believe we're on to the last ogre. We also have overload in my bow, which if people don't know, you can actually overload all enemies in the game, which means that they do reduce damage to you. It's a significant amount. It's around 10% or something like that, 10 to 12. It's enough to survive engagements, basically, when other times you might die. So it might appear that there's not many ads alive, but the Hive hide a lot. So we need to push up, and we can use invis cost, scope the area out. We're full on our ammo as well, which is good. Try to make sure you got plenty of ammo. It's not essential to have full ammo because with us being such a high power now, it's not as essential to manage your ammo as maybe what it was when it first came out. So we're going to go up the hill ready, because this is our safe zone. But before we do that, we want to clear the ogre, like on the hill, so we're there. Then we'll go invis immediate, so that the boss cannot track us. We'll let the boss spawn, and then obviously the boss is immune, and then there'll be 2 yellow bars spawn in the middle. We'll do a nade on the near side one, and then 3 shots. Get an invis just in case for all push. They didn't this time. Sometimes they can though. Then we'll have a void wizard we took out. We have Ivory Repurposing on, so we got our nade back, which is good because we might use that at a stage if we need ammo or what have you. The knight will sometimes peek out like so. So while he's peeking out, we've got a couple of shots on him. But we can basically stand here, take all the thrall. Obviously they're dangerous, and the bosses as well. That's why we stand up there. But because we're top tree tether, we can sort of you know, avoid the thrall and what have you, and the boss. The boss will not track you on top tree invis and will on bottom tree. Okay, bottom tree invis and top tree invis have subtle differences. Top tree invis is shorter than bottom tree, but the boss doesn't track you. Obviously, I'm imagining a lot of people have found out, especially through Grandmaster Southern Song. So that's why we're top tree. Plus we're double dodge, so that's 8 seconds of invis just there, 4 seconds apiece, which is more than enough to get a dunk and whatnot. Okay, so we'll pick up the orb and then invis. That will then spawn in the wizards. You must take out the wizards if you want to survive the dunk, on a solo at least. Survive the dunk and kill the boss. If you don't, you're going to risk it. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but you're best off just taking them. So obviously we've got a void born, so we can take the shield and then Queenbreakers. You've got to really multitask at this bit, because if you start trying to, you know, hit the wizard for too long, a thrall could creep up on you, or a couple of them, and then insta kill you. So like so, there's like 3 thrall there which would have one-shot me, so I had to use a nade there and then invis. The thrall keep coming and coming. I'm not sure if they're infinite or not. I don't know a lot about this mission, to be honest with you, because it's a bit different to Southern's. But once we've dealt with all the wizards and stuff, we're going to go invis and then save a second invis to again get the dunk. We were watching that platform as well, by the way. And we'll get another invis. He nearly kills me, but pretty consistent to get the dunk like that. And 2 more shots. That finishes the boss off. It's less of a guide video, this. Like I say, it's more of a video to show a mission that's going to be sunset. It's not going to be in the game no longer. So that was the solo Chasm of Screams. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.